Hey guys, how are we doing? CryptoInsightUK here, bringing you back another YouTube video. I've actually got a ton to talk about, so I just want to jump into it. It's going to be mainly TA today, Bitcoin, XRP, CRV, like a trade that we're looking for a setup. But I'm quite indecisive right now, I really am. And let me just say that's only in the short term, and I'm going to make a prediction now, and I'll probably get slaughtered for this online, but I think you guys need to listen to it, is that I think by mid to end of October, we're going to see all-time highs for crypto, which obviously is like what, a month and a half away. Yeah, a month, 2 months away maybe. We'll be at all-time highs for Bitcoin, significantly because the elections are in November. If you read Arthur Hayes' article, Water Everywhere, he reckons there's between about 500 billion and 4.5 trillion that are going to be pumped into the markets. Two things that I think will be almost guarantees are that petrol prices or gas prices will be lower and equities, crypto will be higher. Before I quickly break into anything, I just want to touch on gold. Gold actually finished the week last week at an all-time high, over $2,500. Again, yeah, as I said, like the highest weekly close ever. We spoke about gold and we spoke about how a while ago how when we get to these oversold areas when gold starts moving parabolic, and I just did some like easy maths for you guys, like just to show you like some of the things I was looking at for gold and where I think the projections could be, and I basically got laughed at because of how big the market cap would have to go for this to happen. But we're already at $2,500 for gold, and I was projecting $3,300 essentially. So that's gold. Anyway, moving on to Bitcoin, moving on to crypto. The reason I mentioned gold, and I want to quickly mention equities as well, so stocks, is because they're places where people put money when it's not in the dollar. That's basically why I'm mentioning them. We're going to look at equities. So equities are like obviously had a nice last 2 weeks, but on the short term, like the hourly, they do look like they could be in for a short-term pullback with some gaps opening from last week. And why is this important? So obviously all this money is flowing to equities, it's flowing to gold. We haven't really seen anything flowing to crypto yet, and that's what we're waiting for. But short term, could we have a pullback in stocks? Like I'm talking like a few percent. I'm not talking about anything massive. I'm just talking about maybe to here, which is a 1%, or maybe to here, which is a 3.5% over the week. Could that happen? Maybe. Will some of that money flow into crypto, or will it not pull back? These are the discussions that I'm not sure about with Bitcoin specifically, because we've had a few things happening with Bitcoin. I'm going to get into them. So as I said a lot of times, as you guys know, we're looking for a bullish divergence for crypto specifically if we want to continue to see this bottoming structure. I've said we're looking for either a bullish divergence, so a higher low and a higher low on the RSI and a lower low in price action, that's a bullish divergence, or we're looking for a low that comes in that basically is a low confirmed by bad news that doesn't create a lower low. So they're the two things we're watching for. Sorry, my computer started going really loud again. I don't know why it keeps doing this when I'm recording. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. But we've got the bullish divergence. So have I missed the entry? Because I was in a long here, as you guys know, and I pulled it about here because I got a bit worried about it. And then obviously this has been the weekend, so not really great information to share there. But look, here's the the potential hidden bullish divergence. We've got the low here, and then we've created a lower low there, but but the oscillator, so there's the low, created a higher low, price created a lower low. So that made me think, okay, maybe the bottom is in, and this is sort of range, this is like accumulation. Will we get that dip into this entry zone? This is the question that I really, I'm struggling to answer right now because I can argue both sides of it. So let's look at Velo. Gives us a look at open interest and what's going on there. So what can we argue both ways on Velo? Open interest is clearly rising, meaning there's a lot of open interest and leverage in the system. So when that happens, it means whenever we get a move in one direction or whichever way the open interest is, we can get a squeeze. So if there's a lot of longs and then the price comes down, we can see that cascade and stop loss. And the short, we can really move down into the shorts really quickly, or the other way around. If we start to break highs, we can really push up fast. It can have an explosive move either way. But technically, this area looks really nice for an entry, and I'll show you more why on the 4 hour. Is it more like, does it look nice from the 4 hour? But basically this zone here is where you're going to see an entry, an open gap, lovely come back to back test into this zone. So that is what I pulled my longs for the potential of this entry. It doesn't mean we're going to necessarily get it. It's more of a safety play. I've got a lot in spot bags. If we get the pullback into, because I'm unsure, I want to catch a bottom if that is going to be the bottom. That's essentially my thinking. But on the opposite side of that, we've got funding turning negative or heavily negative, and even what I spoke about this on the hourly, I'm going to take us to the daily. And I spoke about this on the newsletter this week. I'm just going to get rid of some of these just so I can show you just the funding just right now. Quite clearly. Funding's negative. It was negative before. It's turned negative again. And I showed about this on the newsletter, the free newsletter, that historically when the funding's been negative, so here, literally here for 3 days, it was almost the bottom here. It's when basically bottoms have come in price action. Already close to here was a bit of an anomaly. Okay, we came down a little bit further. But what I'm saying is when the funding's turned negative, so meaning more people are in shorts than longs, that is when the bottom is close or it's in. So that's one thing that I've got on my radar right now. So another thing in terms of a technical structure, I'm just going to show you, I'm walking you through all the things that are in my head right now. In terms of a technical structure, we've got a bit of a broadening descending wedge going on here. I can show you that quite clearly, and that also would show that it's possible for us to dip down into this area before we head off. So we've got that. And if we look on trading different, there is liquidity building up down here, which is at the 53, 54,000 region. I'm looking at this sort of area, so we could get a wick into that area. But on the other side of that, we've got a ton of liquidity building above us. So once we break above that 62k, more people are coming into short positions here. We probably get the squeeze all the way pretty quickly up to like 67, 68, 69,000 there for Bitcoin. So that is something that I'm definitely watching. There's not been a lot of trading in terms of spot or in terms of leverage this morning because it's before hours for the US on a Monday. Although the premium is high, so people are in a lot of leverage positions. So that is basically my thought process on Bitcoin. Like, I don't think it's easy to argue either way. I've pulled my longs because I want to have a better entry if we do get this flush down or the pull down into the entry zone. Brilliant, that's perfect entry for me. I've got a lot of capital weight, not a lot, but like in terms of my portfolio, probably like 6% in cash ready for a low leverage entry there. And I will probably try and hold that to all-time high if we get that. So that's what I'll be looking for there. So if you're following along with my thoughts and trades, that's what I'm thinking. Obviously not financial advice, they're just my thoughts. And then going on to CRV, this is something else that I've been talking about in my group chat as well. There's a few different things on my mind here. Again, this is a perfect pullback entry. We didn't quite get, we front run it a bit. We didn't quite get the entry into the zone. I've got some long positions opening here. I don't know whether to pull these and bring them down to this sort of area, because if Bitcoin did come down to this box, it would actually be a pullback of 5%. And would that lead to a larger pullback in CRV? A pullback of 5 would bring it into this zone, but maybe a pullback of like 13 or so if it happened quite quickly for Bitcoin. Who knows? That's not unreasonable. And would that stop me out of my position? Because in CRV, I'm in quite high leverage, so I'll probably be in like a 10x leverage on CRV, and it probably would stop me out. So I am really in two minds on CRV, as we also are creating a hidden bearish divergence, as the oscillator, being the RSI in this instance, is creating a potential lower low. It has created a lower low, and price is creating a higher low, so that is actually bearish. So they're all my thoughts right now. Like I'm unsure on what to do in terms of short term. When you're unsure, you don't chase, you just wait and see what the market tells you. If the market pumps aggressively, we're going to get into XRP any second now because it's moving, it's 4% up for the day. But the market pumps aggressively, I'm great. Most of my position are in spot anyway. So that's lovely. This is just for like an extra cherry on the cake. And that's what we're doing. That's what we talk about in the Telegram chat and on the newsletter, about where I'm looking for entry for trades. And I also have some clients, high net worth clients, who talk to me and ask me about different positions that they're interested in, etc. So that's why we're there. We've got the protection of if we come down, we've got a bit of cash to move up. And that is my thinking with Bitcoin. And now we're going to move to XRP. Wow, XRP is starting to move a bit this morning. However, I'm just going to take these drawings off just so it's clear. We need to break this level, which we are starting to get closes above potentially on the 4 hour. We've still got 2.5 hours left, so nothing confirmed yet. We need to get closes above 60 cents. And then realistically, to see any confirmation, we need to close above this level here, the 65.7 range, before we can start to talk about any of these wave counts. So at the minute we're just ranging. It's nice to see some positive price action, but nothing is yet confirmed, and I can't really help you too much because we can't confirm whether the ABC is going to be down into this grey box like I suspected it could be, or whether this is the ABC here, a short ABC, and the bottom of wave 2 came in right here, and we're waiting for that impulsive move to start wave 3, which whenever that comes I think will take us up to about $1-ish. So again, can't really help you too much in terms of confirmation there. Relies on Bitcoin probably as well. So let's just see how the market plays out today. You can see both sides of my argument, but looking at XRP against Bitcoin, we're starting to get above that line that I'm talking about, which is great. If we get these closes up here, this is where you can really start to see some expansion here for XRP. And against Ethereum, we've started to get the first close that we wanted, but the second close, we've still got a little way away. We've got about, let's have a look percentage wise, just measure that out. We've got about 4.5% that we need before we start feeling more bullish on XRP. Until then, again, we could be ranging. So they're essentially all my thoughts on the market right now, guys. I do update you as much as possible. My Telegram group chat is free. If you do enjoy my videos, please sign up to the exchanges and trade with me on the exchanges. If you do want to trade, obviously remember, it's not financial advice, and trading is really tough. Trades have been alright so far. I think we're 2-1 on the recent trades. We're looking for this entry. Could we get blessed with an entry today? It's all up in the air until American markets open and show us some more more definite direction. Ultimately though, I am super bullish on the market. I think by end of October, November, we're going to be at all-time highs. So I am literally trying to catch a falling knife here, playing with fire a little bit. Gold's broken all-time high. Equities have been to all-time high and will probably go to all-time highs again, maybe after a tiny pullback. If we get that, we might not, because it's all about elections. So at some point, we're going to absolutely send it. You've seen all the leverage in the system. We're teeing up for an absolute explosion here. Where that comes, I'm trying to help you guys and myself find the perfect entry. Will we get offered that? I don't know. If we do, brilliant. If we don't, we're sitting massively in spot anyway, so we're feeling good. And if we're not sitting in spot, it's probably time to be DCAing on some altcoins, with knowing the potential that we could drop another 5, 10, 20%, depending on if Bitcoin does come down fast and what that means for alts, etc. But it's looking good. We haven't got long left before I think we see explosive upside. That's my complete opinion on everything right now. If you want more up-to-date stuff, as I said, please join the Telegram. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Share it with a friend if you did. I'd love any questions, comments, whatever. I try and answer every single question that I get, literally. If I see it, I'll answer it, as long as it's constructive. Like, some people just like to troll. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will speak to you on the next one. Peace up, A-Town Downs, CryptoInsightUK would say.